In the early 1900s, there was something beautiful about glowing in the dark. It meant modernity. It meant progress. It meant science had found a way to conquer the night itself. Factories began producing luminous watch dials, tiny constellations that could be worn on the wrist. And behind those glowing numbers were young women. They were told the paint was safe. They were told it was harmless. Some were even told it was good for them. So they painted. And as they worked, they glowed. But the glow did not stay on the watches. At the center of this story is a discovery that changed the world. In 1898, Marie Curie and her husband isolated a mysterious element, radium. It shimmered faintly in the dark, a ghostly blue-green glow that seemed almost alive. At the time, radiation was not feared. It was admired. Radium found its way into everything: toothpaste, drinking water, cosmetics. People believed it could heal the body, energize the mind, even extend life. But no one understood what it was really doing beneath the skin. In factories across America, young women were hired to paint watch dials with radium paint. They were chosen for their precision, their steady hands, their attention to detail. The method they were taught was simple. Lip, dip, paint. They would shape the brush with their lips, dip it into radium paint, carefully trace the tiny numbers again and again and again, hundreds of times a day, each time swallowing a little more poison. The companies reassured them, it's completely safe. Some supervisors even encouraged the girls to paint their nails, teeth, and dresses for fun. At night, they glowed, softly, beautifully, like living lanterns. At first, nothing seemed wrong. Then came the toothaches, a dull pain, then a sharp one, then something far worse. Their teeth began to loosen and fall out. Dentists were called. But when they tried to treat the damage, something horrifying happened. The jaw crumbled. Bone did not behave like bone anymore. It became fragile, rotting. In some cases, entire sections of the jaw had to be removed by hand. Abscesses formed, infections spread. And still, no one understood why. The condition would later be known as radium jaw. But at the time, it was a mystery. The women grew weaker. Their bones fractured easily, their spines collapsed, their bodies slowly, quietly disintegrated. And in the dark, some of them still glowed, not metaphorically, physically. Their bodies had absorbed the radium, and it had become part of them. Radiation was now eating them from the inside. The companies knew something was wrong, but instead of warning the workers, they denied everything. Doctors hired by the companies blamed poor hygiene, syphilis, female hysteria. Anything but the paint. The women were abandoned, discredited, silenced. Some died before they could even understand what was happening to them. A small group of surviving women refused to stay silent. Among them were figures like Grace Fryer. She searched for a lawyer for 2 years. No one wanted the case. The companies were powerful, untouchable. But eventually, someone listened. The case that followed became one of the first major battles for workers' rights in industrial history. The women were dying while testifying in court. Some had to be carried in, others could barely speak. But they told the truth. The companies settled, quietly. Too late for many of the women. But their suffering changed everything. Their case led to stricter workplace safety laws, new standards for handling radioactive materials, greater accountability in science and industry. Radium was no longer seen as a miracle. It was understood for what it truly was. Today, the glow of radium is no longer admired. It is feared. But the story of the Radium Girls remains, a reminder that science, without ethics, can become something far darker, and that sometimes the most dangerous things in the world are the ones that look the most beautiful in the dark.